So I'm just thinking back to myself about all of those crypto gurus, on the news, who are on MSNBC, who are on CNN, who are on Fox Business News. I was just thinking back to myself about all of these dudes. I remember back in, what was it, 2017. Oh yeah, Bitcoin's going to $1 million and it's only getting there in like 1 year. And I remember hearing that. I was like, whoa, Bitcoin's going to $1 million, really? And then 2018 came, and you had that crash in, I think, roughly about February, where I think in 2018 it got close to, I think it was 20,000. And then it just crashed. And I was like, wait a minute, you know what? This is fucking bullshit. And it stayed under $20,000 for a really long time. Like, pretty much, I think it was like a year or two, if I'm not mistaken. But I remember all of those gurus. I remember hearing all of their wisdom and knowledge. And, oh, yeah. Bitcoin's going to the moon. Listen, if you're not in Bitcoin, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. You stupid. You need to be in Bitcoin because Bitcoin going to the moon. It's going to Pluto! It's going to Jupiter! So I remember hearing all this stuff. And then I started looking at the ultimate fundamentals of Bitcoin. And see, the problem is when you talk about crypto, you can't just talk about Bitcoin. You got to talk about a bunch of them because at this point, I believe that there's over 14,000 cryptocurrencies, which actually might be 15,000 because the problem is people are constantly using these computers, running these numbers, and they're making more and more and more and more cryptocurrencies. So the real problem is it's like it's not easy for me to even talk about just one without talking about the other. However, because Bitcoin is the major cryptocurrency, the first one, that's the one that people actually recognize as a household name. That's the one that they trust. So, long story short, because I'm not going to make this very long, I just want to get my point across. I woke up, I went to sleep this morning, and then I woke up. This is what the crypto market looked like this morning. Actually, Bitcoin was 45,000. It was in the 45. Right now, it's at 46,897, which tells me that there's still room to fall. This shit could go to 43. Who knows? It could go below 43. But if you look at what happened, by the way, before I even go, let's look at the others. Bitcoin, Ethereum went down from 4,200. When I closed my eyes last night, Ethereum was 4,200 down to 39.12. But Ethereum's probably going to come back because these people are still pouring money into that shit. Litecoin was like 200. That shit's down to 150. Anchor was like 15 cents down to 10. Ripple was like $1 last night, down to 77 cents. Shiba Inu, you know Shiba Inu's going Super Saiyan, right? Shiba Inu's going Super Saiyan. If I just buy some Shiba Inu, if I put $100 in Shiba Inu, I'm gonna have 12 million tokens of Shiba Inu. I'm gonna go to the moon. Yeah, well, that didn't exactly really happen. It's down considerably. Dogecoin. There was a story yesterday about Dogecoin where because Elon Musk had tweeted some stupid shit and here it is. Okay, right here. This happened not very long ago, December 2nd. Sounds like BS. Elon Musk slams radical new tech and boosts the price of Dogecoin as Bitcoin and Ethereum struggle. Now, mind you, at this point, Bitcoin was about 57,000, and I believe Ethereum was 42. Because this was last night. I was reading this story while I was in my car yesterday. It was like 4:45. Says Tesla billionaire Elon Musk, a controversial. You mean an asshole, a government-funded asshole whose family owns apartheid emerald mines in South Africa, who's been government funded, who that money could have gone to NASA, and NASA could have just as easily built Teslas using GM interiors instead of those shitty interiors that Tesla has. You mean that guy. So anyway, well, I'll tell you like this. If the government ever gave me billions of dollars in government subsidy, I'll tell you this, I could come up with a better fucking car than a Tesla Model S. If the government handed me that kind of money, we'd have fucking flying cars by now. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other major cryptocurrencies are meanwhile struggling, with the Bitcoin price failing to regain 60,000. So Bitcoin hasn't been 60,000 pretty much in a week. And at this point, I don't think it's coming back to 60,000 anytime soon, because first of all, let's understand, for that to happen, I'm going to get to that in a minute. But first of all, for Bitcoin's price to fall this quickly in one day, in fact, let's look at this for the week. For Bitcoin was at a high pretty much at about, what was it, $59,249 for this week, right? For Bitcoin to get to here and to drop that quickly overnight, it was 11:50 p.m. This shit was 52,000. For it to drop that deep, this is not a bunch of people pulling their money out to buy Christmas gifts. The people didn't do that. That's institutional right there. The only time you'd see that kind of dip where you're talking about like thousands upon thousands of dollars of value overnight, that's institutional. So what does that tell me? That tells me these businesses are not too keen on this shit. Because let's just think back. When Bitcoin first got into that 60,000 range, that was institutional investment. I mean, you think about it. Tesla said that they were buying Bitcoin. What was this? A year ago. Tesla said that they were buying Bitcoin, and that was the first time we saw it hit 60,000. Then later on, they suckered El Salvador and that moron, Nayib Bukele. I call him Naive Bukele. That's not, his name is Najib Bukele. I don't give a fuck. But I call him Naive Bukele. So Naive Bukele bought his country into Bitcoin. I think they gave everybody like $25 worth of Bitcoin or something. El Salvador. And it was funny because he got in, the price kept on dipping. I was making fun of the entire country. And then the price went up to like 50 something thousand. And then it somehow got back to like 69,000 right before the US government. And it got up to 69,000 November 9th. It was almost at 70,000. Everybody was celebrating. They were like, hey, El Salvador, you see what a great leader I am? And I was like, what was it? The gurus kept on saying, oh yeah, it's going to 100,000. I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not going to 100,000. It's not going to 100,000. In order for it to go to 100,000, its price would literally have to double. Like it would have to go to like 2 trillion 0.5 like market share. Sure enough, I ramble a little too much. I know you like me rambling, but I ramble a little too much. Sure enough, boom, that's where we were this morning when I woke up. 45,111. And there is where we are right now at 46. There's a good possibility it could crash below 40,000. I'm not going to say it's going to crash below 40,000. That's something a fake crypto guru would do. But bottom line is, one thing I do know is over the last couple of years, it ain't got to 100,000, and I don't foresee it going to 100,000 anytime soon. And one of the things about crypto I think is important to remember. These motherfuckers on the news, these people are useless. These people come on MSNBC, CNN. These people are absolutely useless. But I think one of the important things to remember is that they continue to call Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, they continue to call this an inflation hedge. Cryptocurrency is in no way an inflation hedge. There's absolutely no value in any of this. The only thing that there is a price. That's it. There's no value in this shit. Now, some people could make the argument, well, the value is that you have the ability to send money quicker to people who you know in Africa. I'm like, well, first of all, I don't know anybody in Africa except a bunch of Nigerian scammers. So I don't really know anybody in Africa. So who am I sending money to? Some people, I've seen people make the argument, oh, yeah, well, if I want to send money to somebody, I have to send a lot of money to the bank, and then they have to go to the bank and clear. Excuse me, we've got Cash App. We've got fucking Apple Pay. We've got all of these electronic payment methods. There's no reason for me to exchange my money to cryptocurrency to send it to some Nigerian scammer, with the exception of supporting his scam. Now, there are a lot of people who, oh yeah, well, I live off the grid, so I don't want the government to see. Well, guess what? Congress is already addressing that. Congress is making it so that they can see just about any bank account. They have a bill coming. I think they can see just about any bank account, which makes like $10,000 worth of transactions, which basically is everybody, because everybody pretty much, unless you're homeless, you're making about $10,000 a year. What is it? Congress bank account, I think $10,000. I'm gonna make this quick. Democrats agreed to $10,000 limit. See, this is what. See, you know what? This is how you lose your freedoms. This is why I've lost faith in America. You're so fucking stupid as Americans that you give your freedoms away. And you know what? It's the shit like this that makes me agree with Trump and the way he delivers his message. You're so stupid. At first that they said, oh yeah, we want to make sure we track everybody with $600, $600 checks. And people say, oh, that's an invasion of privacy. Now these motherfuckers want to make it $10,000. Guess what? $10,000 is still just about everybody. There's no difference between $600 and $10,000 when it comes to a bank account in a year. You people are stupid. All of your rights are going. Well, first of all, I don't really even consider them rights anymore. Basically, they're privileges. Rights, privileges, all of them are being taken away. You guys, I swear to God, if you're a Democrat and you're hearing the sound of my voice, you better tell these fucking Democrats, stop it. And if you're a Republican and you're hearing my voice, you better tell these motherfucking Republicans, you bet not help them Democrats get this shit passed. But you guys are so fucking stupid. You don't understand. The reason why cryptocurrency isn't moving is really because of three things. Number one, because there's too many cryptocurrencies. So the individuals keep soaking up all the resources, i.e. money. Number two, people don't want to have to deal with the fucking IRS. That's number two. And number three, well, ultimately there's no intrinsic value in it. It's not like buying gold, silver, or precious metal. There's no intrinsic value. Even oil. But I will say, again, I stick by my belief that the best inflation hedge there is real estate. And I'm not trying to sell real estate here. I'm just saying that's the best inflation hedge because unlike everything else, the government can't print real estate. You can build houses, but you can only build it on existing land. Pretty much all of America's land has been bought. The only land that goes up for sale is pretty much land where somebody owned it and then they die. Like, I have land myself, like, I don't talk about this because as far as I'm concerned, it's not important. I have land down in North Carolina. But here's the thing. I don't really consider it important because I haven't been to North Carolina in a long time. How did I get that land? I didn't buy it. I inherited it. So, the only thing that I talk about is assets that I hold. I hold houses here in New York. Houses I can walk over to, unlock, and walk into. That's my asset. Those are my assets. I don't talk about shit that I can't see, touch, taste, or smell. And North Carolina is pretty far away. Now, granted, I mean, it exists. I have the deed, you know, all that stuff, but I can't go there right now. It's like, I ain't got time to go to no fucking North Carolina. Most of us inherit property. Most of us end up not being able to pay the taxes and lose property. There's a lot of parents who die and give their kids their house, and their kids fuck it up, and they say, oh yeah, I'm going to take out a refinance loan. I'm going to buy me a Hellcat. I'm going to take out a refinance loan. I'm going to buy a Lamborghini. And then next thing you know, you can't make the payments on either, and you fucked away your parents' inheritance. God damn you. So, my bottom line is real estate is the better thing to purchase because the government can't print it. It's limited. And it's skyrocketed in fucking value. My houses in New York are worth twice as much as when I bought them. But, okay, in fact, before I go to stocks, because I'm going to be real quick on this. I'm going to make this less than 20 minutes. I'm going to be real quick. Dogecoin, where the fuck? Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, huh? Oh, yeah, Shiba Inu is going to a penny. It's going to a penny. I'm going to be a billionaire. you're not. In order for Shiba Inu to go to a penny, Shiba Inu would literally have to be worth $10 trillion. It's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. I know you like dumping your money in this shit. I know people like arguing with me. Oh, yeah, well, what about stop losses and electronic trading? I can make little bits of money here and there. Well, you could have done the same thing if you had actually went into the stock market and you purchased real stock from real companies, like I've demonstrated with oil stock and I've demonstrated with tech stock, such as Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, so forth and so on. Dogecoin never saw a penny. I'm sorry, not a penny. It never saw a dollar. They pumped it. They pumped it. They pumped it. They couldn't get it to a dollar. Right now, the shit is 16 cents. Dogecoin, I don't even, well, I can't say I don't remember when it was this low, because I would say that would probably be last year, January. But the bottom line is, all the rest of this shit is basically collapsed. Safe Moon is not safe. Safe Mars is not safe. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. We gotta finance a safe trip to the moon. We gotta finance a safe trip to Mars. We're going to the Mars. We're going to the moons. Deimos and Phobos. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere, guys. You're not going anywhere. Now, granted, are there people who got into these Ponzi schemes early? Absolutely. There are always people. Right now, to tell you the truth, I could make a cryptocurrency and file it and all that shit. Now, Coinbase wouldn't carry it, but that's what's happening. See, the thing about it is, I think what propels a lot of these things is their acceptance in the market. That sends a psychological symbolism to people that says, oh yeah, this is safe to buy. These banks have been trying to sucker these morons into this fucking crypto shit. There is no reason for a bank to be dealing in Bitcoin. Some of these trading systems, PayPal, obviously Coinbase, I believe maybe even Square, if I'm not mistaken, they're trying to sucker these people into this shit. And the people who are already in it, their tongues are dripping with saliva because they know that if they can get more and more acceptance, that the value should go up. But the problem that they don't seem to understand is that as more and more of these cryptos come onto the market, what ends up happening is it dilutes the how should I say, the demand for the top three, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. If there were only three cryptocurrencies, if there were only Bitcoin, only Ethereum, only Litecoin, then I could actually see, yes, these things could definitely skyrocket. They could go to 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, whatever. But there aren't only three. There's 14,000. And there's something called index bias, where people say, no, I want to buy the cheaper one because I can get more of it. That's what's going on with Shiba Inu. That's what's going on with Dogecoin. That's what's going on with Ripple. Index bias. People say, oh, well, if it doesn't cost that much, I can buy a lot of it so that if the value does rise in the future, I'll be able to make money faster. This is basically the logic behind penny stocks. Penny stocks versus, versus regular stocks. I used to do penny stocks. I used to do weed stocks. When the weed stocks went up because of the Redditors pumping them, I sold out when I could, and I made some decent money. And I spent like $100, and I made like $3,000 or $4,000 on MCOA and MJNA. And I'd been telling people about those for years. And that was years before when Kamala Harris, who right now is the least favored vice president ever, because she's a woman who got the job and didn't deserve it. But when she got into office, I knew she was going to be good for weed. Now when you go to the stores right across the street from public schools, the stores are stocked with fucking weed. I never imagined that we'd have kids walking around legally smoking weed and being straight up potheads. I never imagined it. Never imagined it. But guess what? Welcome to 2021, huh? Welcome to 2020, 2021. The pandemic changed everything. So there are a whole lot of other cryptos to talk about. I'm not going to talk about them. I know the same gurus. I know the same assholes online who are talking about all this bullshit. Oh, yo, did you get into Cardano? Cardano's $2 now. No, it's not. Like, they really thought this shit was going to like $10. I was like, no, it's not. Bitcoin Cash, there's people who I follow who live overseas. Thailand, Philippines, they use Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash, when Bitcoin goes up to like $60,000, Bitcoin was like at a high. Bitcoin Cash was like $800 or something like that. I think its high was, what was it? The high was 1,006. That was a long time ago. But now they ain't talking about it so much. See, I know when there's a bull run because all of a sudden everybody gets loud. But you know me, I get loud and I attack this shit even when it's a bull run. I don't give a fuck. It's like, yo, guess what? This is bullshit. It's not going anywhere. All this Ponzi scheme ass bullshit. And the thing about it is, I would also like to say one last thing about crypto before I finish with the I told you so's. It's also important to remember that unlike in 2020, you got to remember a lot of money was poured into cryptocurrencies because we were stuck at home. People had extra money. People felt gambling that they couldn't get into the casinos, so they felt like gambling at home. You had children who came on to Robinhood as their first trading platform. Children who were spending their stimulus checks on Robinhood because they saw other children getting wealthy on Robinhood or flashing Lamborghini. I want to know where all of those Lamborghinis are now. That's what I want to see. Where are all those kids with those Lamborghinis? Because I want you to understand something. It's easy to buy a car when you're talking about transactions in cryptocurrencies. It's not easy to buy a house, though. Because you got to understand, the bank isn't going to sell you a house if you have just enough money to afford the house, but they don't think you can afford the taxes long term. A bank isn't going to do that. Not only that, these crypto people would never want to take 100% of their gains and put it on a house. Because as far as they're concerned, if they leave their money inside, there's a better chance that it's going to go higher and higher because they've been lied to and they've been told, oh yeah, it's going to $1 million, it's going to $2 million, it's going to $10 million. But what they failed to understand, and this is something I understood back in 2018 when I bought my second house, and I saw, when I bought my second house, what I saw was like my house was, it was what, $300,000, and I put down a significant down payment. But when I was purchasing the house, when I saw the appraisal in the amount of time that it took for me to buy the house, the appraisal showed that there was an appreciation of $20,000 within that amount of time. And that was just between 2018, because I closed, what was it, Veterans Day 2018. Before it was even 2019, I had seen an appreciation of $20,000, and I was like, wait a minute. That must mean that this housing market's going to keep on rising, at least temporarily. But what I didn't foresee coming was coronavirus, because once coronavirus hit, housing prices skyrocketed because so many people who had the money and were holding the money, so many people escaped their apartments and they said, fuck this, I don't want to live in these apartments anymore, I want to move to a house. And not only that, the Federal Reserve dropped interest rates low, and they dropped it to basically damn near zero. Not really zero for us, but it was less than 3%, which means if you purchased a property, you're beating the cost of inflation. Or if you refinance to under 3%, you're beating the cost of inflation. So what was funny to me was that the housing market here, especially New York, it inflated so quickly. But the reality is, whether it inflates or deflates, I didn't really care, because when I paid off my first house, I was like, well, I own a piece of property now. So regardless what happens, that's mine until I'm dead. And then I give it to my children. But with this crypto shit, you have no idea where any of this is going. And this is not an inflation hedge, because this waxes and wanes the same way the dollar does and the same way the stock market does. I mean, you just lost $8,000 in the blink of an eye. I went to sleep and the shit was 52. So, you know what? I'm done with this crypto shit. It's like, listen, I've got a couple of computers that are making me some altcoins, and I run that shit on Coinbase, but I wouldn't put, me personally, you can do whatever you want. I don't put my money into crypto. I put my money into real estate, and I put my money into stocks. Now, as for stocks, yes, the Dow Jones was down this week. There were people who keep on emailing me and they keep asking me to give them an idea of what they should be purchasing in 2022, as we are currently getting ready to move to 2022. I'm going to just say this. I haven't put together that list yet of 2022 moves. But what I will say is that my dividend list has not failed me at all. I focused specifically on banks, gas and oil companies, and tech companies that pay dividends. Tech's, what is this? AT&T. AT&T is paying a 9% dividend to me. Sunoco is paying an 8.62% dividend to me. Exxon is paying me a 5.74%. BP is paying, what is this, 5.09. Basically, I have it ranked in order of yield. Now, I'll just say this: like you can use my list. You see, it's AT&T, Sunoco, Exxon, BP, Verizon, Chevron, Royal Dutch Shell, B and A. Gilead and Sanofi, like, I'm not too tough on those. It's just that I own them since COVID started. So, they pay a dividend. So it's like right now I don't really care about those. I don't foresee too much changing on the vaccine landscape. But anyway, the banks, ISBC is Investors Bank Corp, Citigroup, JP Morgan Chase, AIG, Ford, Bank of America, Capital One, Wells Fargo, Walmart, Sirius, Logitech. And man, let me tell you something. I don't know how many of you guys listened to me when I tried to tell y'all to buy Logitech and to buy AMD. But my videos are still sitting there because I don't delete the videos. I don't even bother deleting them. AMD, Logitech, those things were $48 about a year ago, give or take. And I was trying to say, everybody, get this AMD, get this Logitech, get these things. And sure enough, Logitech and AMD, man, those things, Logitech right now is $76 or $77, and AMD is like $150 something right now. And I was telling people, banks, oil, get these tech comp. But nah, there were people. No, you stupid. I'm not putting my money in that. I don't know. I want to get some Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu's going Super Saiyan. Don't you understand? Super Saiyan, it means that the power level is over 9,000. This is what happens when you grow up on these fucking stupid Dragon Ball Z cartoons. You actually start to talk and sound like that stupid shit. You're a young child. You grew up on these fucking cartoons with people screaming and they're on fire and shit because their power level's over 9,000. And you really think that's... I mean, come on, guys. Really? That I watched that show a little bit. I was like, this show is stupid. It's so stupid. And now everybody sounds like that. It's incredible. We're going Super Saiyan! Where's Piccolo? Where's Goku? We're going Super Saiyan! The power level is over 9,000! Motherfuckers sound like that now. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So anyway, I bought Microsoft. Microsoft pays that. So basically, this is what it is. Are you going to get rich quick off of this shit? The answer is no. And I'll be the first person to say that. No, you're not. However, over time, these companies that I have picked have proven that even in the face of a pandemic, their value, look at the values. Have the values gone down? The answer is no. That's an inflation hedge, guys. Their values have gone up, even in the face of the pandemic, even in the face of global economic financial crisis. Who did we turn to? We turned to Ford and GM because they had factories so that they could build PPE. We turned to even Tesla because they had factories that could build PPE. If you haven't learned anything, and let me just say this is the reason why I like to watch things collapse. When you watch something break down and collapse, you actually see how it works. Because the problem is, when something is working fine and everything's going well, you don't get a chance to see how the inner workings work. But when you see an entire nation break down, it teaches you, well, the nation's breaking down, but there's still some things that are holding up. So those things are the things worth paying attention to, the things that lasted. I believe they call that survivor bias, because you're so busy focused on the things that survive that you don't focus on the things that don't. Well, we've seen the entire world. We saw the countries out there that were ready for the pandemic. Look at South Korea. Look at Japan. They went through SARS back in 2003, 2005. So they were ready for the pandemic. By watching them, you get to understand, well, when shit goes bad, this is what I need to do. By watching these companies and these corporations, what did I learn? Oil crashed, but oil fucking skyrocketed. You're still paying $4 a gallon of oil. Oil is going to be there. How the fuck are you heating your house? Right now, this house that I'm in, I got oil heat deliveries. The other house is gas heat. Guess what, motherfucker? Unless you want to freeze to death in your house, oil and gas are going to be around for a long time. It's going to be a long time before we ever have an electrical infrastructure that can support not only electric cars, but electric houses. That's not going to happen for a long time. Gas, oil, propane. They told you this is what survives the pandemic. The tech companies. What happens during a pandemic? What happens when there's a problem? People stay in their houses and they're on fucking television all day. They're using computers. They're playing video games. Guess what? Microsoft, in 1 year, look at this. Microsoft went from 209 to 349, and with this last Dow dip, went to 323. Well, guess what? It only went from 349 to 323. If you had poured all of your money into Microsoft, you'd still be up. Nike. Colin Kaepernick started his shit taking knees. Nike was like $60 a share. And I was like, yo, Nike doesn't give a fuck about these rednecks and these Donald Trump supporters. Nike's going to keep selling their shit the same way, and they're going to sell it to people who hate these motherfuckers. I bought into Nike. Guess what? Nike's $170 right now. I more than doubled my money. Apple did their stock split. Apple was at $116. Shit is $161 now. Are these gains? Are you not entertained by these gains? Look at these gains. I can't even make this shit up. What is this? Sunoco, Exxon, BP. Look at how the top dividend-paying companies are all gas, oil, or banks. In fact, I should just say they're all basically oil companies, basically. Chevron, except for the two telecommunications companies, Verizon and AT&T. Now, understand something, guys. This is a buying opportunity. You got AT&T. You got Verizon. They are going up. They're not going up that fast, but whether they go up or not, they pay you a dividend. They pay you, what, 9% fucking dividend per share? They pay you, what is this? Verizon, 5%. This is still a buying opportunity. Verizon's 52-week high was 61. With the dip, it's down $10. AT&T was at 33. With the dip, it's down to $23. This is a buying opportunity. Oh, no. This is a buying opportunity for CVENU. This is a buying opportunity for Dogecoin. Dogecoin's on sale, everybody. Dogecoin's on sale. We're going to buy Dogecoin. Well, bottom line is this. I recognize a shitty asset when I see it. I recognize a non-dividend paying asset when I see it. And the bottom line is, well, I've already given you the tools. I already told you. I already told you what's worth. I already told you what holds value. Factories hold value. People who can make PPE hold value. But y'all want to invest your money on Squid Token. Y'all want to invest your money on Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. So listen, if that's what y'all want to do, have fun. Because when the flash crashes happen, I'll be there and I'll be waiting just like that. This is me right here. You see this? This was me this is me right there. You see that? You see that? That's me right there. That's my face watching crypto crashing. Take a good look at that face, because that face is going to be on me for a long time.